I'm pretty sure you've heard of the war against emus. In case you haven't, 3 dudes were sent out to go kill like 80,000 emus. The war against goats is kind of like that, but way more strange and interesting and makes a better video. Our story begins off the coast of South America in an archipelago called the Galapagos Islands. The islands were first inhabited by goats when some pirates and fishermen put them there to make sure they would have something to eat when they returned. Well, those goats ended up kicking the bucket, but jumped to the 1950s and a few different fishermen brought 3 goats to the island, 1 male and 2 females. Well, these 3 goats turned into over 30,000 just 14 years later. And by the time the 90s rolled around, there were over 250,000 goats on the islands. This sudden explosion of the goat population was a problem because these naturally occurring lawnmowers were chowing down on all of the plants that the native species would normally eat. This caused animals like the Galapagos tortoise to starve to death. The tortoise's population sank from 250,000 to only 3,000 just a few years later. Ecuador, who is the owner of the archipelago, was responsible for taking care of this issue, and they decided that an extermination effort was necessary. Okay everyone, these Walmart knockoff versions of cows, goats, are destroying the Galapagos Islands, and we need to do something about it. Have any ideas? How about we send hunters out to go kill the goats? Steve, you're ugly.
How about we send lions out to go kill the goats?
Timmy, you are a genius. And that's actually a real idea they thought of, but canned because that's ridiculous. They ended up just sending some hunters out to go kill the goats, the most obvious strategy, but that was way too slow and inefficient. So, the government sent out helicopters equipped with trained sharpshooters to go shoot some goats. And this strategy worked. Big surprise there. 90% of the goats were successfully eradicated, but the goats started to wisen up. The remaining 10% of goats had learned that the sound of helicopters meant instant demise. So every time they heard helicopters, they ran away until they found a spot where the helicopters couldn't reach them. Ecuador wasn't having any of this. So to prove human dominance over some smelly bovines, the government came up with the idea of the Judas goat. The Judas goat was a goat that was tagged with a GPS tracking device. Once the tag was placed on the goat, it would go to find its little friends, or its friendlier friends if you know what I mean. But when the Judas goat eventually found its friends and family, it would basically leak the location of all the surrounding goats. Police! What's going on in here? A dance party? Oh my gosh, why did you shoot him? Because you and your cronies are eating the island out of house and home. No. I understand the situation completely. You can't dance. Shut up! You're the one that can't dance. And the cycle continued. There were over 900 of these Judas goats deployed to help in the extermination effort. These efforts ended in 2006 when the goats had lost the war. The local flora and fauna was starting to arise on the archipelago once again. The project was a success, unlike some other animal wars, and the islands were back to normal at last. Yeah. Killing 250,000 goats may seem inhumane and evil and morally questionable, but like tortoise, look at it. Isn't it great? Oh god, it's heavy. Moral of the story, stop beating around the bush, because guns and GPS tracking devices are usually the answer to your problems. Another answer to your problems might be clicking that like and subscribe button. And if you're feeling frisky, maybe even click that notification bell. Anyways, I'm Gregory Shorttail, I hope you liked the video, and see ya!